Hello, and welcome back to Developing Your Emotional Intelligence. In this chapter, we're going to cover self-awareness, the first of the 4 core EQ skills. You'll notice there are 4 core skills. The upper 2 are in the personal competence section, and the lower 2 are in the social competence section. Looking at the titles across the top, you'll see the 2 columns, What I See and What I Do. Each column refers to both personal competence and social competence. We'll first cover each of the personal competence sections, and then we'll cover each of the social competence sections. All right, here we go. Let's start off first with the definition of self-awareness, which is, can I accurately identify my own emotions and tendencies as they happen? Being aware of your emotions is the first step to being able to manage your emotions. The first skill is foundational to the other 3 skills we'll cover later. Without this EQ skill, it really won't be possible to develop your EQ skills further. Now, it would be easy to simply say, I'm fully aware of my emotions when they happen. But I challenge you to dig deeply, and you might be surprised what you find. Before coming to court, I worked for a manager whose emotions were always on full display, and not in a good way. Unfortunately, he didn't understand how damaging this was to his team. He was always very wound up. He would typically have clenched fists, a furrowed brow, and would pace back and forth intensely throughout our operation. His face would usually be very red as he spoke through clenched teeth. What was interesting is that he was very passionate about the success of our operation. What he didn't understand, though, is that his passion would display in a way that was intimidating, disturbing, and very stressful to those around him. With effective self-awareness, he would have understood that the way he was emotionally managing his focused desire to do well in the company manifested as counterproductive for his team. It left us on edge, worried that he might explode at any moment. We were scared to take risks, afraid that any wrong move would result in his going off the rails and taking us with him. As I look back, I don't believe he would have derailed. I believe he wanted us to take risk and wanted us to be better. But because he lacked self-awareness, he had put a lid on our jars that limited our desires to jump to our full potential. If I had been better with my EQ in my younger years, I could have talked with him and possibly helped him in his development to being less intimidating, more effective, and better as a manager. It's important to remember, people don't always tell us about the emotions they notice us displaying in one situation or another. However, just because they don't tell us, it doesn't mean they're not affected by our emotions. You see, our own emotions are something we've experienced our whole lives. So, it's quite possible we may not realize the direct effects that could be steering us in the wrong direction at times. Being self-aware takes a conscious effort, and sometimes it might require leaning into your discomfort. You see, it can be easy to take the path most traveled, to react the way we always react. Real growth, however, comes from stepping outside of our normal way of thinking and truly challenging ourselves to observe ourselves critically. To remove the statement that says, that's just the way I am. This type of leaning into your discomfort can help us to become more self-aware, which skill is a critical foundational element of EQ. In fact, I'd like to show you a movie clip that is a great example of leaning into discomfort as self-awareness grows. This clip comes from the movie Ray, a biographical film about Ray Charles. Young Ray, played by C.J. Sanders, has been experiencing a gradual loss of vision. His mother, played by Sharon Warren, is beginning to realize that she won't be around forever and that the only way for him to overcome his lost eyesight is to learn how to survive on his own. In this scene, young Ray falls to the floor and cries out to his mother for help. Let's watch and see what happens.
Ow! Mama! Mama, help! Mama! Yes, I am.
Why are you crying, Mama?
Because I'm happy.
All right, what things did you notice about self-awareness in this clip? Ray suddenly stops crying, realizing that help is not on its way, and that he needs to rely on his other senses to help orient him and to get him back to his feet. Picking up on slight clues in his environment, Ray can detract focus away from his fears and begin focusing on his surroundings. He becomes more aware after he leans into the discomfort of feeling alone and lets go of the need to be helped. Even more important is his mother's self-awareness. It's tough for her to watch him struggle, yet she leans into the discomfort of refraining to do so that Ray can learn to be more self-sufficient. She must first be aware in order to self-manage, in order to stop her impulse to run to his aid. Both Ray and his mother illustrate how difficult it can be leaning into discomfort. It can be scary and feel like you're going against what's natural. But if you embrace the discomfort and let it ride out like Ray and his mom, you will find you begin to move toward your long-term goals rather than responding only to those immediate feelings that so easily distract you. Low self-awareness is a substantial inhibitor to one's true potential. In fact, here are 4 negative effects that result from having low self-awareness. Low self-awareness can prevent people from achieving their potential, understanding why they do what they do, handling stress well, and making good choices. On the other hand, having good self-awareness allows you to understand your reactions, handle stress sooner, and to make better choices. Now, if you'll turn to page 8 in your workbook, you'll see a list of 15 self-awareness strategies. Take some time to read the strategies and choose one that you would like to work on. Write it down in the space in the right column. And this will become an important part of your EQ growth strategy. Good luck, and remember, practice makes progress. Well, by now, hopefully you understand quite a bit more about what emotional intelligence is, and you may already be started on a path to better self-awareness. In our next chapter, we'll talk about self-management. It is the second part of the personal competence, which focuses on what we do based on what we know about ourselves. I look forward to seeing you in the next chapter. Thank you for taking the time to grow and develop your EQ skills with Court.